Qualifying session 2 is underway. This is the PS4 Australia New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship coming to you from Singapore, round 13. And it's good to be back. Feels like a while since I've called a race. I couldn't think of too many better tracks to make a return at Singapore, and Q2 will be commencing in wet weather conditions. This will certainly keep the drivers honest as the cars stream out looking to get a lap in, just in case the conditions get any worse. And they are keen to bank a lap ASAP out in front of the pack, getting the brake on the lot, the number 22 Alfa Romeo of Blinky. So, wet conditions, you got to be in control, you got to be quick. You got to have that dexterity, finesse, but speed is the underlying factor. It's no good being too careful, too pretty, too clean if it's not fast enough. So we'll stick with Blinky. He's going to be the first man to go on a hot lap and see what he can produce for us. And I, for one, am looking forward immensely to the start of this race. For those of you who know Singapore well, even if you don't know it that well, you know there's concrete walls deluxe around a lap of the Singapore circuit, and they take no prisoners. So Blinky gets us underway. The top 10 qualifiers from this session will move through to Q3, where the final 10 grid positions will be determined. Now, getting a bit wobbly there, blinking now without trying to sound too sadistic. You would expect someone to be touching a wall at some stage in this session. Actually, geez, as I've said it, Midas. You got going. Midas has left the session. There was a Renault stopped. It was still the Shiz, having moved over from the McLaren team in the recent transfers. I think he was just stopping to let some traffic through. We'll pop back to our man Blinky, the pioneer of Q2, taking us around for that first lap. We'll keep an eye on DM there in the Haas. He's looks like the only driver that's opted for the wet tyres. So he's expecting things to get worse before they get better. As Blinky brings us around the final two corners. Works hard to hold the car in a straight line and gives us a 1:54.8. Next up, I think, is Tactics. It is in the Williams. 1:54.8 the time to beat. And he will now take us on a tour through the last two corners. Very smooth. Not good enough overall. 1:54. A 2:02.1. 57.9 for the Simo, and then Dermy follows him over the line. Still the Shiz pops through. The Ferrari of Hawks is next. He goes up to third, and then the Racing Point of Damo. Actually, Damo might have just been on the outlap. No time. Could have been invalidated also. So, of all the drivers in the session, as it appears Midas in the Renault and Dangerfield have departed, they're all out on track now. I think Cousin Jason's about to cross the line. He gives us a 1:57.3. Good enough for fourth, well and truly. 6/10 ahead of the next driver, the Simo, in fifth place. So, first round of shots fired, except for DM on those aforementioned wet tyres. And it doesn't appear they're the right choice at this point in time, although we didn't see the whole lap. But that's only going to be good enough for a 2:19. Actually, yes, we're missing Mort from Q1, one of the AI cars, punting him into the wall. So Mort might be joining us for Q2 in the comments on the live stream. And remember, if you are watching on live, feel free to join us in the comments. Have your say, make your predictions. Anything you like, you don't like, chuck them in there, interact. The more the merrier. So, second round of drivers are out on track and about to go again. The two Ferraris sandwiching Dermy's McLaren. The Simo leading the way, looking to get out ASAP and get another lap in as quick as possible. Simo currently sitting third in the championship. Anything could happen at Singapore. Plenty of concrete walls that bite, and as it stands, plenty of rain. That would be willing to introduce you to one of those concrete walls, so could be moving day at Singapore. Championship as it stands. Pump Mastiff in first from Mort, Simo, and the big Sheesh, who at this stage doesn't appear to be joining us for qualifying. Still a possible, maybe possible for the race, but not looking good at this stage. So the Simo, here we go. Mort has informed us that Q3 looks set to be wet, super wet, as he puts it, but for a dry race, which I think is better. I mean, maybe in the real world, Hawks goes top there with a 154 clean. His teammate, the Simo. So we missed the fact that Hawks was on that lap. Simo just hanging it out there. Willing to get the most out of these tyres as he possibly can. Dermy still stays 6th on a 158.4. Not uncommon for some of these guys to go multiple laps on the one set of tyres. Just try and find that rhythm, find the quick lap, rather than copping the pressure of just having to make it happen on one lap. As I digressed from my earlier comment, yes, dry race, I think that's more preferable. In the real world, the wet races tend to throw up all sorts of everything, and it's quite exciting, but on this particular game I feel the dry races is where the action's at. Sometimes with the wet races the drivers fall into a bit of a rhythm, trying to caress their cars through the corners without making a mistake, and it does get a bit processional, which is contradictory to what happens in the real world. The Simo has basically ruined this lap. He's invalidated that one. Won't be counted towards his times. Dermy has done the same. Hawks on top. Isn't on a quick one. We've got the Haas out there now. DM is stuck with those wet tyres, but not about to make any impression on the scoreboard. Humble Hippo still grinding away, looking to get out of 11th spot. And that lap's invalidated as well. So we'll pop over to Nodsty in the Red Bull, recently transferring from the Haas team. And sitting in second, just a 10th ahead of the next man, Blinky. Has he got another 7 or 8 tenths up his sleeve to try and take that top spot? Not that it matters, it is only the top 10 that will go through to the next session, but it's something that's on their mind, trying to find the best possible time to get through, to take through to the next session where the times really count. Oh, and he slings it round the last corner, does Nodsty. Despite the big moment, never really looked in danger of collecting a wall. But he should be pretty safe now. In fact, he will be the last man out on track. I think the conditions are so wet now that basically no one's going to improve. Everyone is abandoning the session by the looks of it, although we got Nodsty out on track, obviously. I assume he'll be returning to the pits. DM in the Haas has retired now, so that will be all she wrote. Hopefully no one else jumps out of the pits and we can just move on to Q3. Nodsty parks up, abandons the session. It's just Dermy. So if Dermy doesn't lead the session, we'll only have 30 seconds to go anyway before we move on to Q3. And the deed is done. So there's your top 10. Or it seems to be showing top 9. That's interesting. But Hawks did finish the session on top. From Nodsty, Blinky and his Ferrari teammate in 4th, the Simo, Pumpmaster 5th, Dermy in the McLaren, the sole McLaren in 6th, still the Shiz 7th, Damo in the Racing Point 8th with a 2:01.1, just pipped out Tactics in the Williams for 9th place. So we'll move through now to Q3 where the times really count, and as Mort advised us earlier in the live stream comments, this one looks to be super wet. So wet that it may not be necessary to just jump out there and get a lap in ASAP. Do the guys wait? Looks like Nodsty's going out already. He heads straight out. The 2 Ferraris of Hawks and the Simo will do the same. They feel it's still into conditions. Maybe they're worried it's going to get even wetter. Following them out was the Mercedes of Pumpmaster, I think it was. There's Blinky. Doesn't even look like a Mercedes, does it? And already a little bit of jockeying for position as they make their way up to turn 7, so turn 7, the first corner, just after sector 1 comes to an end on the lap. And I think sector 2 finishes just before turn 14, the right hander. I might point that one out when the drivers approach it. So we're on board with Blinky as he goes through the left-hander turn 13. That's the slowest corner on the track. And we go up what you could consider the back straight, end to sector 2. And then this right-hander here is turn 14. So no one's going to challenge Blinky for the lead spot, so he's going to be our first man once more to take us around a lap of the Singapore circuit. Oh, hangs it out round the last corner to commence that lap. Stylish entrance onto the fast lap. And he is underway. Oh, and again, that Alfa Romeo very taily at the moment. Not sure what setup he's running, but it appears to be a bit front-ended. Or conversely, not rear-ended. As he flies up to turn 7 now. Finds the apex perfectly, using all the track he possibly could on the exit. So the Alfa Romeo seems to be working just fine through the slower corners. Gets the power down, a little bit wobbly at the front. On exit through 7. Sorry, 10. We ride on board once more. There's that slow left-hander through 13. On to the back straight, where sector 2 comes to an end right here. And that tricky entry to turn 16. And then out of it at 17. The entry to 16, that left-hander, which is classed as turn 15. Always a tricky one, trying to brake, keep the car turning left so you can stay as close to the wall as possible, all the while preparing for the right-hander. Look at that. Oh, and there it goes, that tail again through the last corner as he swooped through the first part of it, turn 22. Looked supreme through the first part. Nodsty's gone over the line, but he must have invalidated his lap as no time recorded. The Simo is next. He goes over the line, about a second and a half short. His teammate Hawks goes next, but goes to the pits. So that will give us Pump Mastiff as the next car to come over the line. He goes second, still well off Blinky's time. So the first man out looks to be the pace setter, and setting a good pace at that. Still the Shiz with a 1:59.8. Puts a time on the board. And next up will be Tactics, going to complete his outlap and get going on a fast one. So we'll stay with the Williams driver, I think, for the moment. Actually, there should be someone probably ahead of him on a lap, are they? No, Damo Hawks in the pits. No, it's just Tactics by the looks of it. So let's ride with the Williams driver as he goes through turn 1, flicks right through 2, and then get it slowed down for turn 3. Looking right around on itself, sending you back in the other direction as you approach turn 5. As close to the wall as you can on exit. Turn 6, that kink in the straight, and that's a purple first sector for Tactics. So this time could be hot to trot. Little bit wide through the hairpin at 8. And a good little corner at turn 9. Oh, that was wobbly. Gathers it up. This is the apex at 10, not 100% necessary. As long as he's got it gathered up now, coming over the bridge and then hard on the brakes. Locks that inside left for a brief moment before trying to find the power in getting that car pointing in a straight line as he heads down the back straight to turn 14. He really had to pull it up. The car just wanted to keep going straight ahead there. On tactics. Chicane time, right, left. And now the chicane under the bridge. Flick left, flick right. Flick right, flick left. Left a bit of track wanting there on exit. Here we go, this is the all-important corners, the last two. And this track this time will put him 5th. Nodsty in the meantime goes to the top with a 152.664. That's a full second faster than Blinky's Pioneer lap. Simo still in 3rd, Pump Mastiff 4th. So Blinky on the push, looking to take that pole spot back off Nodsty in the Red Bull. He's got a good line through that second to last corner. Not good enough for provisional pole. The Hawks was next. Still yet to set a time, is Hawks, so he needs to get his skates on. Here comes his teammate, the Simo, now across the line. Still only good enough to keep him 3rd from that prior lap. Nodsty knows he's not going around again and departs the session. Pump Mastiff has invalidated that lap, which takes us to Dermy in the McLaren, but he's just jumping out of the way of, is that Hawks? No, that was the Simo. We're with Hawks as we speak, still looking to bank a lap yet. Doesn't get something on the board soon, he will be starting 8th. In the Racing Point, still yet to post a time. That's quick from Hawks. That's a purple second sector. Although it just got taken off him. Who usurped him? Was it his teammate? It was the Simo. So the Ferraris on a late surge. Can they do something about Nodsty's 152.6? Hawks just needs to get a time on the board. He's only got 2 corners to negotiate. Sends the Ferrari flying through, and it's good enough for second to 152.9, only 3/10 shy. Here comes his teammate now, the Simo, currently on a 153.8. Needs to find about a second to move on to the front row and takes pole, provisional pole at this stage. And that was a stellar lap. The Simo just found the 10th that he needed, a 152.5. And that one could be hard to top. Has Pump Mastiff got something to say about it? No, can't improve from his 155.2. Damo, can he get a lap on the board? He's going to get one on the board, but it's well and truly down. 159.5 pushes him up to 8th. So still a couple of opportunities left. Tactics. Well, he's on a lap. It's not going to be any good. Still the Shiz. He's got 30 seconds to get to the finish line if he wants to put in another fast lap. So we're going to have another round of laps yet. Still the Shiz. Makes it over the line with 12 seconds to spare. and proceeds to send the number 79 Renault around the Singapore circuit, looking to get up out of ninth spot. Oh, and there's the Williams of Tactics, putting it straight into the wall, hammering it nose first. Does still the Shiz get through there before the yellow flags got waved? That Williams destroyed and departing the session. We go back to still the Shiz. Got through the carnage. Did that accident affect his lap? Hawks is done. He's finished down. Actually, we'll go to Pump Mastiff. He's looking to do another lap. Nothing in the Racing Point. Well, did, but still keeps him on the fourth row. What can still the Shiz do? Needs to find a couple of seconds if he's to move up onto the third row, or move up onto the fourth row even. Renault driver, the last man to complete his lap. A little bit wide on the entry of 18, or exit of 18. This third and final sector, riddled with chicanes. Through the final corners for still the Shiz, and that will take him up to 8th position, so makes one on his 9th. So an interesting little session. There's your top 9. Simo with a 152.5 fired that lap in to put it on pole. Head of Nodsty Hawks, Blinky, Dermy, Pump Mastiff in 6th, the championship leader. Have a bit of work to do from there. Tactics in 7th, still the Shiz as we saw at the end, moving up to 8th, just ahead of Damo in the Racing Point. So we will take a quick break as is. Please don't go anywhere. The race is just around the corner. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be tuning in from. This is the PS4 Australia New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship coming to you from Singapore. Round 13 of the championship. And it's great to have your company. I'm your host, Mike Wilson. And this could be a thrilling start to the race. Really looking forward to see how these first few corners pan out. As you can see, your pole man there, the Simo on screen, currently third in the championship, 23 points adrift of the Mercedes of Pump Mastiff. As we see the red lights come on, once they go off, we are go in Singapore. And it looks like a good start for the Red Bull of Nodsty. He goes shooting away into the first corner, takes an easy lead as the Ferrari of the Simo goes wide through the first corner. Will they all get through safely? We see a McLaren of Dermy on the outside of the Mercedes of Pump Mastiff, who's dropping back through the field now, 7th. And there's a Racing Point up the inside looking for an early move. It's Damo having already lost a spot. So far so good. We've still got 16 cars in the field as we head... Oh, there's a Racing Point. Goes for a big, deep, late dive. Can't pull it off, and Cousin Jason promptly moves back through. Oh, we see the McLaren of Big Sheesh. He's joined us for the race. It's a miracle. He's made it back. The man currently 4th in the championship. 56 points adrift of the leader. Good to see him able to join us and try and make up some positions. So 31 laps ahead of us, and so far they have all gotten through safely. That's a miracle in itself. Oh, what's happened to Midas there? He's had a little incident, and that's taken a bit of his front wing off. So he might have to pit for repairs, and we're seeing him just duck straight up the inside of the Humble Hippo, run wide, maybe giving a position back following an earlier incident. So we'll check back in at the front. It's Nodsty and Blinky now ahead of the Simo. Had a bit of an awful start, couldn't get off the grid, ran wide into the first corner. And that leaves us with the two Ferraris. They're running line astern in 3rd and 4th with Dermy in 5th place, just ahead of the Williams of Tactics. So, good little breakaway from the Red Bull now. But Blinky's not going to lie down easily, and immediately at the beginning of lap 2, pay no attention to the display saying lap 3, this is lap 2. And you are watching Nodsty in 1st place, ahead of Blinky in 2nd. You've got the Simo in 3rd, ahead of his Ferrari teammate Hawks in 4th place. So Blinky making his intentions well known already. And as predicted, down the bottom there, Midas has jumped in the pits. Get that Renault front wing repaired. And that's dropped him way to the right down to the back of the field. We'll check the tyres. They're on. And there we go. Midas jumped in and took on a set of mediums. But it is Singapore. Anything can happen here. Anything could easily produce a safety car that could put him right back into the mix. We'll tune in down here at Pump Mastiff. That's your championship leader there. Down in 7th with a pack of cars nipping at his heels. Although he'll be looking to do a bit of work of his own on Tactics there, ahead in 6th place. As they make their way through turn 5. This is a DRS zone. As you can see, the rear wing of the Mercedes opening up, thinks about a move on the Williams, decides against it for now. Just going to wait and bide his time further down. There's another little pack of cars forming here, led by Damo in the racing point. He's got the attention of Mort. Mort's currently second in the championship, having missed Q1, got punted out. He has to do a lot of work from down there in 12th. And whilst looking ahead at the racing point of Damo. Oh, actually, we've got a new leader here. We'll go up to the front because Blinky has dispatched Nodsty in the Red Bull. And it's an Alfa Romeo in the lead now. Number 22, the man we watched first out in those qualifying sessions. He's really in a hurry to get this done today. Now first in front of the pack. Oh, and that Ferrari of Hawks in the background, leaving a bit of Pirelli rubber on the track as he flicks it well and truly sideways. We see Nodsty with some DRS now. Won't get close enough to make a move into the first corner. So what's happened to the Simo? He's dropped well back off that pack of the top three. And very soon, Damo, he gets past already on the start. Finished straight by Mort. So Mort moves up to 11th. Leaving Damo to deal with the two Alpha Tauris. And deal with him, he will have to. Look at them lining up to get past him. They want to take each other out. Oh, and Humble Hippo clipped the wall. So that's going to cost him a piece of front wing. Ah, dear. Looking for another position. Goes wide through turn 5. And as we mentioned in qualifying, this circuit takes no prisoners. And no exception made for the Humble Hippo. So he's going to have to pit, get that sorted out. Still harassing Damo in 12th, but now has the attention of Dangerfield. Oh, and dives up the inside. They touch. Oh, and touch again. That was sloppy. Damo's going to have to join him in the pits now as well, and Dangerfield should breeze past, although Damo's not going to make it easy for him. Still going to make Dangerfield work for it. It sticks to the outside, goes through. That racing point surely won't want to turn in too responsively with that much of the front wing missing. Yeah, it was all a bit clumsy. I don't know about the move, but he was certainly right alongside the racing point. Oh, and Humble Hippo misses the pit lane almost. Damo gets himself a penalty. And 8 seconds worth at that. So we might look to serve some of those as well. Meanwhile, up front, Hawks. No penalties served there. Hawks has now taken second place off Nodsty. And is straight out after Blinky, looking on the inside here now. Is that it's a virtual safety car. That move will just have to go onto the shelf for the time being. Oh, Hawks was lining it up like a hawk. And the race director says, you're just going to have to wait a second there, pal. So look how close they are under the virtual safety car. This could be ready to pop once the yellow flags get put away. So we go green. We are racing once more on lap 5 of the Singapore Grand Prix. There's battles going on all over the place. Actually, oh, is that tactics? What happened to him? He went well and truly wide. That was through turn 14. Doesn't appear to have any damage. I think he was dueling with Dangerfield. Might have been a late dive or a move or who knows, but we might find out later on that one. Meanwhile, back up front, the race for the lead still rages on. Blinky holding off the Ferrari of Hawks. Nodsty not far away in third. Ferrari looks to the outside, switches back to the inside, making Blinky work for every inch of the track now. And as they take these alternate lines, defending and attacking, look at that, the Ferrari almost tucked up under the wing of the Alfa Romeo. Oh, and wide again from Blinky. It's all keeping Nodsty in tow. As we see him go over the bridge there. Lovely little overview camera there as they head onto the back straight now. DRS will be open for the second and third place men. Midas, well, he's jumping into the pits and retiring, so we've lost a Renault from the race. Look how close Hawks is. This is for the lead of the race. Nodsty drops back. He makes a bit of an error. Drops off the battle. Leaving the sister teams to go at it. Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, big brother, little brother. Blinky really just struggling to sort of turn that car in. It's going to be a tyre factor here. See there, Blinky on the softs, Hawks on the mediums. Blinky wants to make them last as long as he possibly can. Those tyres running out of grip rapidly on the 7th lap of 31. Here goes Hawks, takes the lead in a fairly cruisy fashion from the Alfa Romeo of Blinky, who was delaying the inevitable to some extent. And the guys on the soft tyres beginning to struggle. More evidence of that shown in Pump Mastiff in 5th now. He's closing in on the battle for 4th. There he is in the Mercedes. The cars in 2nd, 3rd and 4th, all on the soft tyres. Pump Mastiff on the mediums, which are in a bit better nick the moment. And having taken the lead, Hawks has wasted no time pulling out more of a gap. 1.5 to 1.9 seconds, just like that. See Nodsty, he's going to jump into the pits, dispose of those soft tyres, and just up ahead of him, Blinky has made the same call. So the soft's not lasting long at all. What's happened to Blinky? He had to stay a little bit longer in the box, and that's put Nodsty ahead of him. Might have picked up a bit of front wing damage that needed repairing. Either way, it's dropped him behind the Red Bull. Oh, and promptly throws it very wide into turn 3. So Hawk stays out in front. He'll be well aware the other two have pitted. Needs to knuckle down now and put in some solid laps. Look further down the field, still the shiz now. Grabbing the attention of the Humble Hippo and Damo in the racing point. Actually, here goes the Humble Hippo now up the inside of the Renault. Now to the outside. Makes it stick. Oh, goes very wide though. Has to give the position back. Slots back in front of Damo. Behind still the shiz. As they're about to rock through turn 9 now on the lap. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, what that's DM. What's happened? Gathers up his little issue. Again, doesn't appear to be damage. Move just back up ahead once more. See how still the shiz can handle this pressure from those cars behind. He's got the Alpha Tauri there of the Humble Hippo now going ahead and around the outside as they go through turn 14. So still the Shiz down to 12th now, and he's got Damo now looking for a piece of the action just behind. Can the Renault withstand the advances of the Racing Point driver? So far so good from still the Shiz as we see the Racing Point close in. Not close enough at this point in time. Now grabs himself a bit of DRS as he moves in on the Humble Hippo once more. Damo's picked him, still got that 8 seconds worth of penalties. DM down there in 14th in the Haas with 3 seconds worth. On lap 10 of 31. Half distance Singapore Grand Prix. DRS open once more for still the Shiz. Damo's dropped off a bit now. And still the Shiz would have the slightly better tyres. We'll check that. Yeah, fresh set. 3 laps younger. The yellow flag pops out there briefly. 3 laps younger for still the Shiz over the Humble Hippo. And Julie gets a little bit out of shape. Nothing too dramatic, but in his efforts to defend the Humble Hippo now picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Look at still the Shiz. Oh, and he goes round Humble Hippo, so that'll make it nice and easy for still the Shiz. I think he kept it out of the wall. No damage done. Just a little bit of wounded pride and a position drop. See, where was Damo? Damo not around to capitalise on that one. I guess he's enthralled in his own little battle with Tactics, who promptly moves up to 12th position. And maybe he's going to be the next suitor to the Humble Hippo's 11th position. Immediately closes in on the back of the Alpha Tauri as they scoot their way down towards turn 10. Not an overtaking spot. Just going to have to bide his time here through 11, 12, maybe 13 as we saw earlier. Damo copping the move up the inside. This is where you could overtake down the back straight with the assistance of DRS. The DRS now open for Tactics. It'll help him close in down to the first corner. That Alpha Tauri of the Humble Hippo looking at just a tad skatey on the mediums. Now up ahead, Nodsty is very busy dueling with Mort. Certainly not done with him. Not going to go around the outside there. Mort having none of it at the moment. Mort on the 10 lap old hard tyres. Nodsty having just pitted. Getting every piece of that 4th position. Look how close. Look how close. Oh, and they're side by side now. He's going to have him on the start finish straight. And goes through for 4th spot. Oh, we got a yellow flag. That's the other... That's that Blinky. It was Blinky. Might have had a little detour through turn 14. Seems to be up and running now. Having just boxed and taken on hard tyres of his own. Can those hard tyres last all the way to the end? I'm not too au fait with the strategy, optimal strategy ideas in the Singapore race, but he seemed to get a good 12 laps out of the hards. Out of the mediums. Question is, can the hards do another 19 laps? Well, you would think so. Oh, and there is the racing point of Tamo, who has missed the pit lane altogether, looking to get in there now. Oh, and what's going on? It's just not going how he would like. Having trouble over those curbs. And his session is retired, so... Oh, this is interesting. Oh, here it comes now into the pits, but his day is done. Number 13, Racing Point, drops out of 13th spot in round 13 on lap 13. So there you go. I don't know if you're superstitious. You want to go through the pits. Hopefully it doesn't jump in anyone's way. That cooked up Racing Point. Oh, back to our leader, Hawks now. 12 lap old mediums. He'll be looking to pit soon, and certainly will need to, because there is a clear amount of damage on the front wing of that Ferrari. Missing all but half of it, so he's had a little brush with the wall. Oh, and meets a slow running DM on the way to the pits, who somehow gets the penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So going as slow as you like, still gets the penalty. So new wing goes on for Hawks. And he's gone for the mediums again, so he's definitely going to have to pit again. You would think. Oh, is that pump? Who's off? It's cousin Jason's had a moment. He gathers it up. No damage, but gets going. But that's going to cost him some time. And then does the damage. He survived the first moment, and then just flicks it into 16 and promptly removes part of his front wing. So I think he'd be pretty annoyed with himself on that one. Meanwhile, Nodsty regains the lead in the Red Bull. So a lot to compute at the moment. And the Big Sheesh has somehow ended up in 6th. There's the position change. He's done this before, the Big Sheesh. 14 spots recovered. And having made his way into the race after completely missing qualifying, he'll be looking to potentially make up some points here. Currently sits 4th in the championship the Big Sheesh. He's 56 points behind Pump Mastiff. He has missed a few races this season. Of the first 4 races he competed in, he won 3 of them. And then in the next 4, no wins from there. So, certainly a lot to ask for. And there we saw him run wide through the 23rd and final corner. And the stewards have pinged him immediately, so that could hurt. Whilst he's clearly been pushing the envelope, doing his best to get up into that second spot. There's been a few little detours wide that have finally cost him a 3-second penalty. Meanwhile, look at this little 3-way battle. We've got Pump Mastiff sandwiched between Morton Hawks. Really sandwiched between Hawks, who's looking 3 abreast here. They get him either side. Hawks goes a little wide. The Alfa Romeo jumps back into that spot. Wow. Overtake either side. Always good to watch. Mastiff. As mentioned, he's the championship leader. The one the Big Sheesh is trying to make some points on. Currently holds a 10-point lead over Mort, the man just behind him. And third place would be Simo. He's currently 6th in the race, 3rd in the championship, 23 points adrift of Pump Mastiff. So the boys getting a bit frisky now. Plenty of dueling going on. And who's out? It's the Humble Hippo. He's binned it. We're not going to see him for a bit. We'll jump over to Cousin Jason. And it's a virtual safety car as a result due to the Humble Hippo binning it on the exit of turn 5. We'll jump on board with Cousin Jason, see if we can get... No, the car's been moved. So won't get a good look at that. But with it being removed, we should be going green any tick of the clock now. So this is interesting. Mort, as you can see, yet to stop. We go green once more. Lap 16 of 31. Singapore Grand Prix. You're tuned into round 13 of the PS4 Australia-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship. Great to have you with us, wherever you're tuning in from. And remember, if you are watching live, please feel free to jump in the comments. Have your say on the race. Anything you like, just throw it in the comments. We'd love to interact with you. As we go back to the front of the field, there's your race leader, Nodsty, in the Red Bull, 2 seconds ahead of the Big Sheesh. We'll check the tyre situation. Those two out on roughly the same aged medium tyres, 6 to 7 laps. Hawks, 8 seconds adrift of the Big Sheesh in third, having just put on the medium tyres after a recent pit stop. So for those guys that who are we looking at that took on the hards before, it was Blinky. So I guess Mort should give us an idea soon. I questioned just how long those hards can last. I guess we'll know if Mort can get those hards to go for another 4 laps, then Blinky will be looking good as far as going to the end is concerned. Lap 18 of the Singapore Grand Prix in the Australian-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship, and you are looking at your race leader, Nodsty, in the Red Bull. He is well and truly under pressure from the McLaren of the Big Sheesh, who now takes over first position, goes up the inside into turn 7 with the assistance of DRS. And as we mentioned earlier, the Big Sheesh looking for a big points haul to try and narrow that gap to Pump Mastiff, the championship leader. Currently sits 56 points ahead, down in 4th at the moment. Oh, and the Red Bull just had a little think about a move up the inside there into turn 13. A short, sharp little hairpin. Plenty has gone on with the alternating pit stop strategies. Plenty of chopping and changing in the positions. It's been an action-packed first 18 laps, let me tell you. And still plenty of laps to go. So, new leader. Can Nodsty do anything with the DRS? As I said, he's on similarly aged tyres. The Big Sheesh does have the crutch in the form of a 3-second time penalty. So he'll need to pull out as much time as he possibly can. On Dangerfield, I was just going to say we should have a look and see how he's going. He's the only driver currently on the soft tyres. They don't have much life in them around here, the softs, so any driver taking them on would need to push pretty hard, get some good time out of them. And just as I had that thought, he goes and picks up a 3-second time penalty, just pushing a little too hard. You can't blame him though. There's Mort. Just ahead of the Williams of Tactics. Down there in 11th place. So the Williams being lapped. Oh, what's happened? The Big Sheesh. Oh, he's into the pits. Nothing to be too alarmed about. I thought I just saw him suddenly tumbling through the positions. But he's got his strategy worked out, how he wants to play this. Jumps in, grabs his set of mediums, serves his penalty. And he'll be set to go to the end of the race. So we'll keep one eye on the Big Sheesh. Nodsty in the lead now. Certainly going to have to pit again, the Red Bull driver. But he's not... That's not his prime concern at the moment. The prime concern will be the Ferrari of Hawks, closing in at a stellar rate of knots. 6/10 behind. Oh, we've got a Renault off somewhere. It's still the Shiz. So that little Bermuda Triangle that is the exit of turn 14, claiming a few cars there. We seem to tune in just as they're coming back on track. Most have got away without damage, but the 79 Renault there, you can see missing quite a bit of its front wing. So still the Shiz is going to have to pit. He'll be pretty dirty on that, given that he's just had a pit stop. And we'll have to make a tour through once more as we see the leaders come through in the background. It's Nodsty with the Ferrari of Hawks all over his backside. holds the line through one after an early deviation to the inside. It's turn 5 where he's going to want to get the clean exit if he's told off that Ferrari, and I don't think he did. I think that Ferrari hit the apex much better than the Red Bull, so he's going to go at the inside at 6 even, and will get well ahead before turn 7. So another lead change. Hawks. Ferrari leads in Singapore on lap 21. And there will be little Nodsty can do about that right now. On the 12 laps, old mediums. Will he consider a pit stop on this lap? Try and get the most out of another set of mediums. Oh, he's got to pit soon, surely. Nine seconds adrift is a Pump Mastiff on track. And there's the Mercedes driver in the number 46. Having a little quiet moment on his own. 9 seconds adrift of Nodsty. 7 seconds ahead of the Simo. Plenty of quiet time to just concentrate on pegging in those fast laps. Oh, and his teammate, cousin Jason's had a moment. Well and truly wiped the front wing off his car completely. So that'll leave debris on the track. We'll just check with tactics here coming through. There we see it. And that'll be a safety car. So this will change the complexion of the race entirely. Tactics immediately jumps into the pit. This could work well for Nodsty. He needed to get that pit stop in. He might get it pretty cheap now, but he's on the other side of the circuit. Cousin Jason jumps in. Still the Shiz jumps in the Renault. Here goes the softs again. Are they going to last? If they can get a few laps out of this safety car, you might be able to push him to the end. Tactics in. DM in. Blinky now jumps in. The Alpha driver. Tyres changed. So on lap 22 of 31, we have a safety car in the Singapore Grand Prix. As the, I guess we'll say, virtual marshals jump out on track to clear the debris. Now, what's happened there? There's... Cousin Jason was dropping positions. How do you drop positions behind the safety car? Did he have a moment? So we see tactics run wide. He's let him back through. He's clearly been given the order. We saw bits of discarded tyre rubber flicking up as the Williams went offline to let the Mercedes back through. So now the leaders jump into the pits. Here's Hawks and Nodsty. Does the big sheesh follow him in? He does. Hawks is out. Quick as a flash. Nodsty. They're all going for the softs now. This could be interesting. This could be very interesting, especially if the safety car happens to pop straight in, which, look, is going to be unlikely, I guess, given that field is taking a long time to bunch back up. So it's going to be the softs, the way to go. And unfortunately, I think the guys who jumped in and took on the mediums may have had a bit too much time to think about it early. It's Dangerfield and cousin Jason. It's hard to say. We're only seeing like a good 6 laps out of those softs, I think. If the safety car was to jump in at the end of the next lap, they're probably going to have to go 7 laps. Oh, I don't know. And that's if it jumps in, if the safety car comes in next lap. And in mentioning that, Mort got in before them, so his tyres are already 1 lap old. But that's 1 safety car lap. That's not a lap in anger, so wouldn't have been the most heavy-duty lap wearing out those tyres, so they could be as good as new softs. So we follow the safety car around, waiting for the field to bunch up. So let's take stock. We're about to complete 23 laps of 31. Hawks is the leader. Nodsty in second. Pump Mastiff third after the 6th place start. The Simo in 4th. After that horror start, hasn't really made headway since then. The Big Sheesh from the back of the pack. Now up in 5th. I'd say sitting fairly pretty were it not for his 3-second time penalty. Actually, we failed to mention Hawks has a 3-second time penalty as well. I wonder would he have been better served taking that in the pits. Can you take it in the pits? Irrelevant now. Blinky there in 6th. He qualified 4th, I think. Dropped 2 spots. Oh, and the Big Sheesh gets a penalty now. What's happened? He's contacted still the Shiz behind him, has he? Well, that's all but cooked. The Big Sheesh's race, I think. 8 seconds worth of penalties. That's going to be huge with just 7 laps to go. Still, the Shiz have damage as a result. I think he's missing a good chunk of that front wing. We just need to get a shot of it. Safety car in this lap. Yeah, I think that... Oh, what's the Shiz done there? Oh, I'm not sure what I've just seen. Might leave that one to the stewards, but it's cost still the Shiz his front wing. Tactics as a result went into the back of still the Shiz. Either way, the safety car's in this lap. We might look at that one post-race. We'll go back up front now, Hawks. With that 3-second time penalty still to be added on to his final race time. He gets the field going underway as his teammate picks up a penalty as well. Mort gets a drive-through down there as well in 6th place. So it's penalties deluxe at the moment. Who wants this? So we see those other cars jump into the pits. And then we've got the Big Sheesh, Tactics, and still the Shiz in the pits at the moment. All with plenty of penalties. Yellow flag further down. Who is it? Might have just been a brief off-track excursion. Now the first four have really broken away here. Hawks, Nodsty, Pump Mastiff there in third, Simo in fourth. Both Ferraris with 3-second time penalties to be added on to their race time at the conclusion of the final lap. They've broken away from the two Alfa Romeos down there in 5th and 6th. So Hawks getting the hammer down, trying to pull out that required 3-second gap, which he needs if he's going to hold on to the race win. More importantly, just trying to get out of that 1 second DRS range. Saw Blinky in the background, not sure if you saw, just very close to that fence on the exit of the corner. Now what's happened to the big sheesh down there? Seems to be encountering all sorts of problems. Currently trying to hold off the Renault of Still the Shears. Hawks up in front. Another fastest lap, so gets that gap out to 2 seconds now. The rate he's going is a chance of pulling out the required lead. Appears to be leaving the rest in his wake. Is it doable? Sure what's happening with the big sheesh. Seems to be a passenger in that car. Nothing too speedy about that McLaren. So Hawks now the gap 2.5 seconds. He is streaking away in the Ferrari. Needs to get out ahead of Nodsty by 3 seconds, or out ahead of whoever finishes in second place by 3 seconds if he wants that race win, and he is making all the right moves. The gap 2.5 seconds, and this man is on a mission. Oh, we got a safety car again. That's going to ruin it for him. Cousin Jason has cooked that Mercedes. Try and find out where he is. There he is after the bridge. Just slammed it into the wall by the looks of it at the slow hairpin at 13. Oh, and that could be bad news. That's going to be bad news for Hawks. The Ferrari driver was on an absolute tear. Well, can you believe that? He was just making time on the rest of the field, streaking away, hand over fist. And then a safety car, just like that. Cousin Jason. I'll tell you who that's going to work well for, his teammate, Pump Mastiff. It'll probably work well in the sense he might, as it stands, go from third to second. Not a huge help, but better than a kick in the pants. Oh dearie dear, let's just hope that safety car comes in and gives us at least one racing lap before the end of the race. We'd hate to see what it's been an interesting race come to an end behind the safety car. Lap 29 of the Singapore Grand Prix in the Australia-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship, and there has been drama aplenty so far in this race. We saw a safety car just a few laps earlier. It had the field bunched up and left the race leader Hawks, who currently has a 3-second time penalty, looking to do his absolute best to try and make up that gap, get out ahead of the rest of the field, and he was doing so. Had the gap out to 2.5 seconds in little to no time. And then unfortunately for Hawks in the Ferrari, following the demise of cousin Jason in the Mercedes, we see the safety car on track once more, and the field bunched back up, and his 2.5 second lead wiped out. So the safety car is going to be in this lap. That'll give us 2 racing laps. The 2 Ferraris still holding 3-second time penalties, as is Dangerfield in 5th. And the man to watch will be Blinky in 6th. With all the top 5 currently on 5-lap-old soft tyres from the previous safety car, Blinky has jumped in, grabbed a fresh set, and he should be on a bit of a charge, you would think. Can be a bit of a difference between a fresh set of softs and a 5-lap-old set. Hawks goes to make a break, nods to you aware and awake to it. Straight on the tail of the Ferrari, and as you see in the background, Blinky already looking to make a move on the inside of Dangerfield. Gets it done. So 1 spot up already for Blinky. Pump Mastiff ahead, harassing Nodsty. Looked like Nodsty was going to go for a move for the race leads immediately. Now he's on the defense. As you can see right there, it only takes a couple of corners. And look at Blinky. Oh, did Blinky didn't damage the car, did he? No, he kept it in one piece. Thought he might have run it into the back of the Simo, so plenty to look at. Only takes a couple of corners for a car to be on the attack and then suddenly on the defence, as we saw with Pump Mastiff. So look at Blinky now. He's going to take this Ferrari, I reckon. No DRS, but those tyres are flying. Blinky, 2 spots up on the first of the 2 remaining laps. We've got a yellow flag out. I think it's Dangerfield. Dangerfield running wide in that aforementioned Bermuda Triangle at the exit of turn 14. Look at Blinky. Oh, and the Simo's out. That's going to cost him points. 3rd in the championship. He'll go home with a duck egg. Nothing for the Ferrari. Will we have another safety car to finish us off? So far it's a no. Play on at this point in time, which I'd find difficult to believe in a normal race. They miraculously clear off the Ferrari. It's probably good for this man. Blinky still gets his chance to make up more places on those fresher soft tyres. Can't close in on Pump Mastiff though. So Hawks still out in front. The other story of the race, if he can get a 3-second gap over Nodsty, he will win the race. This could be anyone's at the moment. And I'm saying this on the final lap. Blinky desperately looking for a way past that Mercedes. Is he going to try it into the hairpin at 13? He is, and gets it done. Forces the Mercedes out and moves up to 3rd spot. Only a few corners remaining now. Can he do anything about Nodsty? This could be the crucial story of the race. If Blinky can catch Nodsty and put a move on the Red Bull, that could be enough to force that lead gap between Hawks and Nodsty out to 3 seconds. It's 2.8. Hawks, he's got to push like he's never pushed before. Quality corners the whole way. The gap, 2.7, 2.6. We see him go through the final 2 corners using all the track and more. It's like a qualifying session now. Nodsty comes over the line and wins. Gets it by less than 3/10. Blinky grabs 3rd. The late pit stop under the last safety car helped him up a few positions and gets him on the podium. Pump Mastiff in 4th. He'll hold on to that championship lead with Mort behind him in 5th spot. Wow, what a finish. The things Formula 1 can throw up, quite amazing. Oh, and Hawks, he'll be ruining that penalty, unfortunately. Driver of the day goes to Mort. And we just didn't know who the winner was going to be right till the end. Fantastic. In Singapore, Nodsty takes the win. Recently transitioned over from Haas to the Red Bull and hasn't finished better than 5th this season. And at Singapore, improves that record emphatically by taking the top spot on the rostrum. So we'll get the results up on screen. So Nodsty, good results, having moved to Red Bull from Haas. And Hawks having to add that 3-second time penalty onto his total race time. Finishes just less than 3/10 behind. That's as close as you would like. But you'd have to think that final safety car, the extra safety car, cost him. But there was a lot of sliding doors, a lot of ifs and buts in that one. That'll be all we've got time for the PS4 Australia-New Zealand Open Wheel Division 1 Championship. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the action. I'm your host, Mike Wilson. Thank you for joining us wherever you've tuned in from. Until next time, it's bye for now.